everyone and welcome back to my channel, LiveLoveCrochet. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cardigan. So for the yoke we don't have to do very much, it's just double crochets. The tulip stitch is very easy, it won't be too difficult. I will show you how to make it. So this one is for 0 to 3. I'm actually going to be doing a 4 to 5 today. So that's probably the biggest that I've done so far. I've got some new measurements that go, the age is a bit older on them. I will show you those in a moment. So let's find out what we will need and show you some measurements. So for today's video we're going to be using a 4.5mm hook, tape measure, stitch markers, a needle to sew in your tails, a pair of scissors and then yarn. So I'm going to be using this purple for my yoke. So this is just 100% acrylic, 100 grams. Next colour is going to be red for the tulip. That's what I'm going to be using. This is 50g ball. It is baby double knitting and this one's 100% acrylic. And then I'm going to be using white for my leaves. This one doesn't have a label but it's the same as this one. So it's 100% acrylic again, 100g ball, but I've used a little bit of this one. I think I only used a little bit. So those are the colours that I'm going to use. You can use whatever colours you like. So now I'm going to show you some measurements. So here is my new measurement chart. So this one goes all the way up to 7 to 8. I just need to quickly fill these two out. So we have head circumference, chest actual, chest finished. So the chest actual is for like if you're making a t-shirt for example and you have nothing on underneath, that's going to be the chest actual. And chest finished is for things like cardigans where you have a t-shirt on underneath, you have to count for that extra bit of thickness. So the chest finished is a little bit bigger than the chest actual. So I hope that makes sense to you. The yoke, as we all know, that's the start. Armhole depth, back to neck waist, which is what we're going to need today. Sleeve length and hood height, but we don't need that one today because we're not making a hood. So these are the measurements. So I'm going to be making 4 to 5 today. So these are the measurements that I'm going to follow. So my chain, my first chain is going to be 51 centimeters. So we will see what they are. I'm going to quickly fill these in. Okay, that's better. So that is everything done. So now so for whatever size you're going to do, just write down your measurements. We're going to need everything apart from hood height. We might not need armhole depth. And we're going to need chest finished because we're making a cardigan. So write down your measurements, pause the video, write down your measurements. I'm going to show you some of my other measurements. Okay, so we have some measurements here for our yoke. So we have starting from the smallest up to the biggest. I'm going to be doing a 4 to 5, so I'm going to be around about these sizes. So I will probably start at 60 If you need any bigger than this, say for a 7 to 8 and none of these chains are big enough, so these in the middle are how long your chain's going to be. Give me your size and I will work out the yoke for you. I really don't mind doing that. But as far as that goes, we are ready to start our chaining. So if you want to grab your first colour. So mine is purple. So we're going to start by putting a slip knot onto our yarn. Got my hook and my measuring tape. So I've forgotten how much I needed. So I need 51 centimetres. So I'm just going to put out my measuring tape. Okay, and then I'm going to start chaining. I'm going to chain 60 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I will see you when I have 60. Okay, so I have my 60. I'm just going to measure that now. Oops. So I'm just going to put start my chain there, and I'm going to pull down. I'm going to give it a little pull, and I'm at around about 42, 43 with a bit more of a pull, and I needed 51. So we'll go to 68, we'll skip 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to do the same again. So then I'm at about 48, 49 with a bit more of a pull, but we'll go to 48 for now. So then I need 3 centimeters more, so I'm going to move on to the 72. So that's 4 chains. So I'm going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I will measure that. So then I am at if I give it a pull, I'm at 51. So I am happy with that, because if I go to 76 then it's going to go over the 51, and I'd rather be a little bit shorter because it's stretchy, so I'd rather have it a little bit shorter than a little bit longer. So my square is 72. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do this bit first. We're going to work 10 double crochets into the next chains. First we're going to add two more chains, so 1 and 2, and then we're going to find the 4th chain. Just going to pull you closer. So I'm going to find the 4th chain, so 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to make a double crochet into the 4th. So then I have 2 double crochets, because these chains I skipped at the start just now is going to class as a double crochet, so that is 2. I need 8 more double crochets, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So next we have our corner. So into the next stitch we are going to put 3 double crochets. So into your next stitch here, 1, into the same stitch, another double crochet, and into the same stitch, 3 double crochets, all into the same stitch. We're then going to put a stitch marker into our second stitch from the hook, so this loop on the hook doesn't count. 1 and 2, and then I have 13, so I'm going to put 13 double crochets into the next 13 stitches. So starting with the next chain, put a double crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, and we'll see you here when I have 13. So I have 13. Now I'm going to make my next corner, which is 3 double crochets into the next stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to put a stitch marker into my second stitch from the hook, so 1 and 2, and then I'm going to move on to the back here, so that's 22 stitches, 22 double crochets. So into the next there's 1, 2, and I will see you back here when I have 22. So I have my 22. Now I'm going to put 3 double crochets into the next stitch for my corner, so 1, 2 and 3. So ignoring the loop on the hook, we're going to put our stitch marker into the second stitch, so 1 and 2, and then I have 13 for the shoulder. 1, 2, and I will see you back here when I have my 13. Okay, so I have my 13, so into your next stitch we're going to make another corner, which is 3 double crochets again, 1, 2 and 3. We are then going to put our stitch marker into our second stitch again from the hook, and then I have 10, so if I've counted correctly I will have 10 chains left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So there we have our first row of our yoke. So this is what yours should look like right now. So next what we're going to do is going to chain 1 and turn our work. So I'm going to get rid of this now. So this row is going to be another double crochet row. It's going to be exactly what you've just done. So we're going to double crochet right into the first stitch there where your chain 1's coming out of. So double crochet, we're going to put 1 double crochet into each stitch until we get to our stitch marker. So I've double crocheted every stitch right up until my stitch marker, so I'm going to take that out, and then I'm going to put 3 double crochets into that stitch there. So 1, 2 and 3, and then same as what you've been doing, stitch marker into your second stitch from your hook, and then you repeat. So 1 double crochet into every stitch. When you reach your stitch marker, put 3 double crochets into that stitch and mark your second stitch from your hook. So this is really simple, just 1 row repeat. When you get to the end, you chain 1, you turn, you put a double crochet back into that first stitch where your chain 1 is coming out of, and it is that simple. So now I'm going to give you some measurements for your yoke size. I'm going to show you how to measure it quickly, and then I'm going to let you get on and do that. So I have the measurements, which is yoke. So here are the yoke sizes. So for 4 to 5, I'm going to need my yoke to be 17 centimeters. So I'm going to show you how to measure now. So we're going to get our tape measure, and we're just going to measure down here where this corner is, right here, and you're going to measure from the top down to the bottom. Right now I'm measuring at 3.5 centimeters. I need 17 centimeters, but I will probably just double crochet until I have 16 centimeters, because when I attach the cardigan together, that will make up for the centimeter that is missing. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead and work on my yoke, and I will see you back here when you have your yoke at the right measurement. Okay, so I've finished the length of my yoke. So this is what mine looks like. Yours may be smaller or bigger than mine. So what we need to do now is attach our yoke, but before we do that we need to do a little bit of measuring. So I'll get my measurements. So here I have my measurements, and we're doing chest finished because we're making a cardigan. So here's the sizes we need. So I'm doing a 4 to 5, so mine needs to be 64 centimeters, but because we're only going to be measuring this part of the yoke, we're going to half that number. So I'm going to measure. So half of 64 for me will be 32. So from this stitch marker to this stitch marker, I'm looking for 32 centimeters. So mine is measuring at approximately 34.5 centimeters. So I'm over my 32, which is totally fine. As a minimum, I'm still going to do one chain underneath the armholes. So if you are missing centimeters, what you're going to do is you're going to measure your double crochets. So say you're missing 2 centimeters, we're going to measure our double crochets, and we're going to see how many double crochets fit into our 2 centimeters. So that is 1, 2, so that's 2 double crochets. So that means that you will put 2 chains this side and 2 chains this side. If you're missing more, say you're missing 5 centimeters, you're gonna see how many double crochets fit into those 5 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So that means you will put 6 chains this side and 6 chains this side. But I don't think you will be missing that many centimeters because we've done double crochet, and usually with double crochet you reach your size that you need. So I'm going to show you how to attach now. So I'm going to double crochet. So I've chained my 1. No I haven't. I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to double crochet up until my stitch marker, and I will see you right here. So I've double crocheted up until my stitch marker. So now what I'm going to do, into the stitch with the stitch marker in, I am going to make a double crochet. And like I've just been talking about, however many chains you need is how many you're going to put right here. So as a minimum, I was over, so as a minimum I'm going to do 1 chain either side. So 1 chain, and then I'm going to find my other stitch marker, my next stitch marker here. I'm going to bring those stitch markers together just like that, and I'm going to put a double crochet into the stitch with the stitch marker in, just like that. So now I'm attached. So now I keep going with double crochets until I reach my next stitch marker right here, and that's where I'm going to see you. Okay, so I've reached my other stitch marker, so I'm going to put a double crochet into that stitch marker, into that stitch, sorry, with the stitch marker in. I'm going to chain my 1, you chain what you need to. I'm going to bring the stitch markers together, and I'm going to attach into this stitch with the stitch marker with a double crochet. and then I'm gonna double crochet until I reach the end. Okay, so I've just finished my row, so now I'm going to show you how to crochet into the chains, or the chain that we just made. So I'm going to put a chain and turn, and then I'm just going to carry on with double crochets. So I'm going to do my double crochets until I reach my chains. So I'm at my chain, so I'm just going to put double crochet into this last double crochet here, and then into my chain. I'm just going to go into my chain, so I'm just going to put my hook into there, make a double crochet, and keep going with your double crochets, and it is as simple as that. So now I just want to talk to you about the back, neck, waist. So I'm just going to put my cardigan sideways because we're going to open up our cardigan and we're going to be measuring down the back here. So I have my measurements here. So back, neck, back to neck, waist. So right here. So I am doing 4 to 5. Just get so you can see it. Right, so I'm doing 4 to 5. So my back to neck is going to be 25 centimeters. So take down your measurement, whichever one it is. So if mine's going to be 25 centimeters, measure to see where I am now. So I am measuring at 15.5 centimeters at the moment. So I need another 10 centimeters. So with this cardigan, we have on this one 3 rows down, 1, 2 and 3. This row is an increasing row, so we get our nice flare. So I have increased on there. So we need to, so that's what, 1, 2 rows and a single crochet row. So I'm just going to see how many centimeters 2 rows of double crochet are. So that's around about 3 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3.5 centimeters off this 25. So we're going to go to 1, 2, 3.5. So 21.5 is what I'm going to crochet before I get to my increase row. So I'm going to crochet another, say 4 rows. I think that'll fit into that. 4 rows maybe. And you need to do the same. I hope I'm not confusing you. So whatever your measurement is for your back to neck, waist, you need to take at least 3.5 centimeters off, just in case you've got to do that single crochet row. The reason I say for the single crochet row is because we have to make sure we're at the left hand side of our cardigan, just so that when we do our tulips they puff out the right way. Because if you look at this cardigan, I will just quickly demonstrate. This cardigan doesn't puff out this side, it puffs out this side, so we need to make sure we're on the left hand side of our cardigan, so this side of our cardigan, before we do our tulips. So maybe you might need your single crochets just to get you back around to that place. So I'm now going to crochet these rows up until 21.5 centimeters, and I will see you back here when I have reached that measurement. Okay, so I've just finished my rows. So now we're going to start the increasing. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. So for the first increase, what we're going to do is we're going to double crochet into the first 3 stitches. So 1 double crochet into each of the first 3 stitches. So 1, 2 and 3, and then into the 4th we're going to put 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 3. So 1, 2 and 3. Into the 4th we are going to put 4 double crochets into the same stitch. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and this is all we're going to do for this row. So 3 single double crochets, and then into the 4th we're going to put 4 double crochets, just like that. When we finish this row we need to count out our stitches. So we're going to need a multiple of 3 plus 2. So when I have finished this row I will show you exactly what I mean. I will write it down and talk you through it. So I'm going to finish this row and count my stitches, and I will see you at the end of this row. So before I go and count my stitches, I just want to show you how to finish up. So I've just done 3 stitches and I have 1 for my increase, which I'm just going to quickly do. And then I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left. So I'm not going to do another increase. I am just going to put 1 double crochet into each because we don't want an increase close to the edge of the cardigan. So if you're like me, 1 increase there. If you only have 4, then it's fine to just double crochet into those 4. Don't make another increase too close. So I've just finished my row and I've counted my double crochets and I have 158. Now I know that that doesn't divide by 3, so I know that the next number that divides by 3 is 159. So that will be my multiple of 3. So I need to add 1 stitch. and then I need to add 2 stitches because we're doing a multiple of 3 plus 2, so I need to add another 2. So my increase for my next row is going to be 3 stitches, and then that will ensure that I have the right count for when I start my tulips. So I hope that was clear enough for everyone. So I'm just going to get a stitch marker just to show you where I am going to put my increases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one by this armhole here. I'm going to then put one into the middle, and then I'm going to put the other one by this armhole here. So I'm not going to be too accurate. So I'm just going to put one here, just there, and then roughly get the middle. Just put one there, and then just put one by this armhole here, and then there I will put 2 double crochets into each of these mark stitches. So I will put 1 double crochet into every stitch. When I get to my stitch marker, I will put 2 double crochets, and that will give me the 3 double crochets that I need for my multiple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first increase here, and then I'm going to do the rest off camera because you have just been increasing, just for anyone that is unsure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double crochet up until that stitch marker there, and I'll meet you here. Okay, so I am at my stitch marker. I'm just going to remove that stitch marker, and then into this stitch here I'm going to put 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2, and then I'm going to continue as normal, 1 double crochet into every stitch, and then when I reach my next stitch marker, 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets, and then finish off as normal. And then I will meet you back here, and I'm gonna end up finishing on my left hand side, so that is perfect. If you do end up finishing on the right hand side, just go around, just chain 1 and make a single crochet into each stitch until you get to your left hand side, and then meet me back when you have done that. Okay, so I've just finished that row right there. So now I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to cut this yarn. We're going to move on to our tulips now. So my tulips are going to be red. So I've got my red. I'm going to put a slip knot onto that. Okay, so now where we have put our knot, I'm going to go back into there. I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to turn our work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to skip this stitch with our chain 3 coming out of it, skip the next stitch, and we are going to go into the 3rd stitch. So you're going to yarn over, go into your third stitch, catch your yarn, pull it through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch, catch your yarn and pull it through. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. You will now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go back into that same stitch, catch your yarn and pull it through. You'll have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, go back into that stitch, catch your yarn, pull it through. You will now have 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2. Now you will have 5 loops on your hook. We're going to go back in once more, so this will be the 5th time we go in. You'll have 7 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. You will now be left with 6 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 6 loops, just like that. And you're going to chain 3. And we're going to now skip 1, 2 and go into the 3rd stitch. So skip 2 stitches and go into the 3rd. I'm going to repeat those steps. So pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back in. You're going to do this 5 times. So that's 3, that's 4, 5th time, pull through 2, and then pull through all 6. And then we're going to chain 3. I'm going to skip 2, 1, 2, go into the 3rd. You're going to do exactly the same. Go in, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go back into the same, yarn over and pull through 2. Pull through all 6 loops and chain 3. So this is what it's looking like on our right side. It's puffing out. So I'm now going to leave you to do that. Maybe I'll show you one more. 1, 2, go into the 3rd. And then we just chain 3 every time we pull through those 6 loops. And then we skip 2 and go into the 3rd, and I will now meet you back when we're nearly at the edge, at this, like finishing the row. So I will continue with that now, and I will meet you back somewhere around here. So now we've finished with this row, so meet you back here to show you how to finish it. So I've already chained 3. I now have 5 stitches left. So into the same, into the 3rd stitch, I'm going to my children. And then when I've made that one, I'm now going to chain 1 and I'm going to put a double crochet into my last stitch. Just like that. And that is my first row of tulips done. So now we're going to chain 1 and cut out our yarn. Okay, so now we are moving on to our leaves, and I said my next colour is going to be white, so I'm going to get my white. I'm going to put a slip knot onto my yarn. I'm then going to insert my hook into my last stitch. I'm going to chain 3 again. So one, 2 and 3. Then we're going to turn our work. Okay, so my cardigan's getting a little big now, so I've not really got much room. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to first work into this space and then we're going to work into the chain 3 space. So we're going to yarn over, going to go into that chain 1 space that we've just made here, catch our yarn and pull it through. We're going to pull it up a little bit, going to yarn over again, go back into that space, catch your yarn and pull it up. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over and then we're going to go into this chain 3 space here. We're going to catch our yarn, pull, yarn over, go back in one more time, catch your yarn, pull it through. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of those loops. So that, and then you're going to chain 3. So I'll show you one more time. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to go into the space that you've just put your first set of petals or leaves, yarn over and go into that space there, yarn over, go back into that space, yarn over, and then we're going to move on to this next chain 3 space here, go into there once, yarn over, go into there twice, and then pull through all the loops on your hook, chain 3, again go back into this space here, and again, and then you're going to go into your next chain 3 space, pull through all of your loops on your hook and chain 3. So it's very easy. So I'm going to leave you to do that now. So twice into every chain 3 space. So two unfinished double crochets into each space, and I will see you just as we are getting to the end. So I'll meet you a bit here. Just finishing this row. So I have done this one, and I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to go back into here, make my usual petals, then I'm going to go into this last one here, make 2, pull through all of the loops, and then this time we are going to chain 1, and then we're going to make a double crochet into our second chain here. Double crochet, chain 1, and we are ready to cut our yarn. So now we need to get our main colour back, which mine is purple. I'm going to put a slip knot onto my yarn. I'm going to insert my hook into the last stitch, put my yarn on, and then I'm going to chain 1. And then turn my work. So what I'm going to do now is going to make single crochets. So we're going to go into this first stitch here with a single crochet, and we're going to find our next stitch, which is right here, and then we're going to put 2 single crochets into the chain 3, and then the next stitch is going to be right here, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets, and then into there, and then into your chain, 2 single crochets, single crochet, 2 single crochets, and so on. And then after you have done this row, you're going to chain 1 at the end, and you are going to come back with another row of single crochets. Just going to put my cardigan right. Okay, so this is where I am at right now. So I'm doing my single crochets here, and then I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work and single crochet back into my stitches, and then I will be back on my left hand side again, and that is where I will do another row of petals, and then another row of tulips, and then another row of petals, and then I will have another row of single crochets. So that is probably going to be it for part 1. It's quite a long video. I'm sorry that it's taken so long to put it up. I did actually do this cardigan already, but I missed out a crucial step, so I had to take the cardigan apart and redo the video, so that's why it took me a long time to put this video out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish my length. So I'm not sure how long I'm going to have it yet. All I can advise you is you can have it as long as you want. So I hope I have made everything clear. Hope you've understood everything. If not, you can comment down below and I will get back to you. So for now, that is the end of part 1, and I will see you in part 2. Bye.